worship. We're going to give our attention to Brother Hacker as he develops his theme, which he was given as reference material, Revelation chapter 4, verse 11.
Have you ever heard of the Habitat for Humanity organization? It is a non-profit charity that's sole purpose is to build houses for people in need. The founder of that organization was Miller Fuller. He was given the highest award a civilian could receive, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, in 1996. Would you say this person was worthy of this honor? Many would agree he is. Then how much more so should we give praise and honor to the Creator of everything, even our lives, Jehovah God? Let's look at a scripture that emphasizes why Jehovah is worthy of our praise. This is Revelation chapter 4 and verse 11. You might also want to bookmark this. We're going to be referring to this. And that reads, "You are worthy, Jehovah, even our God, to receive the glory and the honor and the power, because you created all things, and because of your will they existed and were created." First off, the scripture tells us that he created all things. Just look at the universe, for example. There are uncountable stars, billions of galaxies, and an unending universe. Let's now read Isaiah chapter 40, verse 26. Raise your eyes high up and see, who has created these things? It is the one who is bringing forth the army of them, even by number, all of whom he calls even by name. Due to the abundance of dynamic energy, he also being vigorous in power, not one of them is missing. In this scripture, Isaiah is talking about the stars. But notice what he said there, all of whom he calls even by name. In the creation video, they compare the stars in our galaxy to a page on a book. According to the video, if you had one star per page, we would have to turn 50 pages per second from the moment we are born to the moment we die, non-stop. And that's just in our galaxy. Think of how much power was needed to create all of the stars, and developing the systems that naturally occur and seem like common to us. Imagine Jehovah setting up photosynthesis, or even the process that keeps our hearts beating. Think of Jehovah creating all of the elements and then combining those elements to make the objects all around us. When you just stop and think of all these things, doesn't it just put you in a state of awe, of absolute bewilderment, of deep appreciation for all that Jehovah has done for us? And you don't even have to look very hard to find Jehovah's creation. Look at animals, for example, and think that we have only discovered a fraction of all animals on Earth. And imagine all the other animals waiting to be recognized. After thousands of years, we have not found all that Jehovah has created. And what we have found has massive diversity and detail. Compare the gigantic elephant to the tiny housefly. Also look at the detail of every living thing, how it is designed to perfectly live where it lives, to do what it does. Take ourselves, for example. The psalmist David realized that we were created magnificently. In Psalms 139, verse 14, he says that we are wonderfully made. But let's look at another detail. Each cell has instructions, called deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, which tells it what type of cell it will be. Cells of the same type then group together to make tissues, organs, and then organ systems. This may sound fairly simple, but think of how the cell knows how to use that DNA, or where to find it. This also clearly shows Jehovah's worthiness to be worshipped. Now let's go back to Revelation. Notice the second part there. And because of your will, they existed and were created. What this is saying is that Jehovah didn't need to create us. He created us because he wanted to. Jehovah created all of this, and none of it would exist without him. That should make us even more willing to worship him. And as the May 15th edition of the Watchtower from 2001 brings out, when we reflect on the miraculous things Jehovah did for his people, our hearts motivate us to laud him. When you think of all the things Jehovah did for us, it isn't very hard to worship him.